First and foremost, the media icon. I literally try to be iconic in whatever I do. To editing the show, to writing the script, literally every single spot. I started in 8th grade because that elective was available. I'm someone who knew exactly what I wanted to do starting in 8th grade. I never wavered. So that's where I started interviewing celebrities, advertising, marketing. I just opened up into the streaming world, truly. I've been producing a lot of streamers. And I mean, they checks weekly at like 5,000-6,000 a week. My station is $1 billion station, and just do and make $1 million just doing.
Based on you listening to this podcast, you're probably a creative entrepreneur who's ready to stop hustling for clients and start building a business that runs on purpose, profit, and peace.
If that's you, we want to invite you to join the Creative to CEO Challenge, a 5-day live coaching experience designed to help you shift your mindset and develop the habits to turn your creativity into consistent cash flow.
And it's all happening live on Zoom inside a private community of ambitious creative entrepreneurs just like you. People who are done guessing, done grinding, and ready to build with clarity and confidence.
By the end of the challenge, you'll have a crystal clear direction on your next 90 days, a profit plan that fits your lifestyle, and the framework to start earning 10K plus months doing what you love without burning out or selling out.
So if that sounds like what you need, then tap the link in the description or scan the QR code if you're watching this on screen. And do not forget to upgrade to VIP for bonus coaching and behind the scenes Q&A every day of the challenge with me and Shai.
We can't wait to help you unlock CEO mode and the freedom you've been working for. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Welcome to the Minding My Creative Business podcast, the #1 podcast for creative entrepreneurs to learn strategy, structure, and self-development. I am your host, Ron Ironically.
And I am your host, Shai Speaks. And this episode, I always say it's going to be my favorite. I already know, because we have none other than Director Bang, right? We got event curator, we got producer, it's so many things that we have. Public speaker. There's so many things that we sitting right here. Ladies and gentlemen, clap it up. Welcome, Miss Julie.
Hi, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for being here.
I just had to make sure it was clear that, and I didn't want to say all those things to get you to be like, okay, well, no, it's some stuff that's going on. There is a actual business, a creative-based business, a brand that's going on, more than one business, because when you got it like that. So let's get into it. Let's talk about.
No, hold on, before we go there, because that's how we normally introduce people.
That's true.
So how would you introduce yourself, Lucy?
Ooh, how would I introduce myself? Okay. So I would say, first and foremost, the media icon. That's what I've got that name, in high school, honestly. And I've stuck with it. So that's how I got the whole iconic brand. Okay. Media icon. Reason why I say they call me the media icon is I literally try to be iconic in whatever I do, especially in the media. So you have, directing films, producing TV shows, producing podcasts, creating the entire brand of, whatever that exposure is, from advertising, doing commercials, literally anything in the media I've done, which makes me the media icon, because I'm not just in front. I've interviewed celebrities. That's actually one of my first jobs, was interviewing a bunch of celebrities and then having my own TV show. But literally everything. I always tell people I know what to do in my industry because I was also the janitor in my industry, is what I feel like. So I learned every single thing, from working the camera to editing the show to writing the script, literally every single spot. I come across people in schools now, unfortunately, my interns, they'll be like, oh, I just know how to write scripts. I'm like, no, you need to know how to edit it, shoot it, everything. That's how you don't get fired. But, that's why I say everything media, and of course, owning a event space and production studio as well, and event coordinator and personality. So. And I earn it. The rest on too.
I just found my head that I just want y'all to see. I wasn't just throwing round titles out here. We're going to be talking about Eyeconic, right? You talked about media, but Eyeconic you said having my own TV shows and television network, right? So we want to start there, right? Let's talk about the network. We know you went the ground up and kind of got to the point where you know all the roles or a lot of the roles in media. But we want to talk about what was missing, you know, or what were you looking to see when you decided, okay, you know what, I'm gonna start Eyeconic Television, right? So let's talk about that.
So with Eyeconic Television, first, I will say it's all about the foundation of where I started, right? So I did get my bachelor's in radio and television and film. Shout out to SFA, go Jets. But I actually started doing media and television, honestly, in the 8th grade. So like I always tell people it's so important, and this is why I want my own like media school. I started in 8th grade because that elective was available. You know, these days I hear like media is not even an elective no more. But I was in the 8th grade at Dulles Middle School. Then I was in Dulles High School, and I was in media the entire time. So I'm someone who knew exactly what I wanted to do starting in 8th grade, and I never wavered. Like I never did anything. I went to college for that major, and it's just always been media. So when I graduated, I worked for a television station. It's called Urban Houston Network. And it was the only black-owned television station at the time here in Houston, Texas. It was channel 43. So it was antenna-based. You didn't have to have cable. And I worked there as just a personality. So that's where I started interviewing celebrities. My show was called Media Icon Live. I started interviewing a bunch of celebrities. And I started bringing ideas to the station. He was like, okay, like I was probably 22, like 22 years old. I was just like, you should do this. And then like he bumped me up to like basically the advertising marketing liaison is what he called it at the time. And then I had my own show. So I'm like trying to help out with the station, doing all these things. And then I started doing sales. And then again, I started doing everything, right? Everything just selling the station, getting people involved in the station. And then God rest his soul, at the age of 52, he passed away due to a stroke. And so it was just a random day at the station, and we all got the call. I'm wondering where he's at. And so once that happened, I literally was like about to leave the station. So I would say this, a week before that happened, I had just interviewed Cardi B. And I never forget, it was one of my best interviews. She was funny. It was going viral. And I was like, I'm about to move to LA. That was what I need to do. Like, I'm about to go with honestly, because it was just like, we had to wait till something huge come to Houston. Like, that was Super Bowl, All-Stars. Like, I had to wait till stuff happened to come to Houston at that time. Now, of course, they be all over. But at that time, it was like, we need to go to LA to get these interviews. So I said it to say, my mindset was like, okay, I can't be here long. I'm gonna move to LA. That's what I want to do. But when he passed away, I didn't want to leave the station just there. Like, I feel like I helped it become something I couldn't even bring myself to just leave. Right. So I stayed. His family made me vice president at the age of 25 years old. I'm vice president of the section. And so I was just working my foot off. Like, I was just working. And I think it took me a moment, especially because 53, 52 is not old. Not at all. Right. So, but still, even at that age, unfortunately, he didn't have his life in order as far as like for insurance or where things go once you do depart. Like, which is very important because half the reason why I left is because his family, his kids were fighting over everything. And it became a, horrible environment because nothing was set up in there. So one day I came in, they was like, Jaleah, we want it to be a country station, or Jaleah, we want it to be a gospel TV station. And no, let's switch to comedy. Like, I was like, oh, look. Right. And then at the end of the day, this wasn't mine, but I'm putting blood and sweat and T-words or something, And so I remember it was the Thursday before Thanksgiving. And I had put my 2 weeks in because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go off of a dream, and I'm just gonna move to LA. And I really put in my notice in, and I want to say it was a like a meet and greet social networking for media. Yeah. And I was in a conversation. It's at George R. Brown, and I was in a conversation where it's funny because it was two Caucasian men. That's fine, but they were talking to me, and they were just like, yeah, and it's a TV station for sale in Stafford. And I think they said that because it was like, it was no way I'm gonna be able to afford nothing like that. And I beat it because that thing was only like what 20, 25. So I get it. My bank account was nothing but traveling money. And I just left my job. So, they just talking. But something told me to go check out the station. And the station was 7 minutes from my house. And I'm really big on like the number 7. So for me, I was like, no, that's God talking to me. Let me go check it out. I remember I went to go check it out. And the guy was selling a station because he had a family emergency and had to move to Dubai.
Yeah.
And so what happened was he was like, I tried to hire you. He showed me the email where he tried to hire me as a programmer when I applied for jobs.
Wow.
This is a long time. Wow. And so he was like, all the stations typically know of each other. All the antenna stations, we all have to know. And he knew about me in the programming because we had got like a lot of good ratings and Nielsen ratings on that station. And he basically gave me a station for half off.
Wow.
Not even half off. Really a penny. Yeah, with you. Like, he just blessed me. And it's not even like I had the money. I had angel donors who came from the other station and saw what I did with that station and was like, you know what? You deserve this. Because I left and I didn't get nothing from that station. But I kept it afloat for a year and a half after he passed away. So the angel donors helped me out with this station. And that's when I realized, okay, like, I want to be able to give people the platforms to do what they want. At that time, podcasts were just starting. It's more audio based. And I always be like, man, I help them turn a visual. Because I swear, like, a lot of people did not have visual.
Yeah, visual.
But I allow people to bring in, like, their, what I did was help them and teach them how to, turn that podcast or TV show into dollars.
Yeah.
So it was in that moment where I was just like all about letting your creative mind make creative dollars for you. Like, that was my main thing. So teach them how to push it, how to advertise little things. Like, I was just like, you can get on the podcast and say, this is brought to you by whatever, and that's $50. Like, just start telling people just different stuff, or just having, while we're talking, something just scrolling at the bottom, that's $20. But if you do so many episodes and just multiply on the different things for just showing them how to make money, off of their content. And so
So first of all, I was really wondering. I mean, I asked this question for the creativepreneurs who are watching to know, like, pay television network, like,
okay.
network. No, what you said, like, that's how you got to the network, was basically you were a part of a network, and so you know how to run a network.
Exactly.
Not necessarily just because you was working and doing all the things, but because after the person who owned it transitioned, you had to step in. So now you know how to run it. Because it's like, how can someone know how to run a network?
I was like, what? You have a TV? People almost think I won't say lying. They don't go that far. Like, nah, there's no way. But they're like, yeah. I started my own. And then at that time, I was 26. So I started my TV network at 26, 25, 26, going to that. I'm sorry. I became vice president at 22 at that station. At 25, 26, that's when I purchased my station. So I was, at the time, the youngest in the nation. The next age was like 38. I think I'm still the youngest, actually, right? Well, it's like literally, it's a channel here in Houston. It's just like your cage, like your ABC or your Fox, except I'm not on cable, but it's just channel. It was channel 15 here in Houston. I had it for 6 years.
Wow.
And I just cut the cable not this past August, the August before, so that I can now be on streaming. So now I'm on Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Google. Because in Houston, I hit 3.2 million viewers on my Nielsen rated.
So it's like, we understand. We get it. We did it. We out here throwing around. I just cut the cord. Right. Like, all these terms. We know about these things. So Nielsen, tell us about that. When you're saying Nielsen, just in case for something.
Sorry. Okay. So in Nielsen ratings is basically a lot of people don't even know it, but it really is like, basically they go into the households and they get how many people are watching, the TV channels, and they usually times it probably about like 2 or 3 depending on the family household. But that's how we're able to capture and see how many people are actually watching the station. So in my last 2 years, I was in the 3 million range. And that might sound like a lot, but it's really not.
Wow.
Compared to, I want the whole world to see my channel.
Yeah.
So I had to really, that was a big jump of faith for me, because last August I had to make the decision: do I want to stay a TV channel, antenna based, or do I want to be global?
Right.
Because with my streaming channel, I have downloads in Africa, and I have downloads in Kenya and China, and all these other places, but they could have never seen my content, with just here in Houston.
Right.
So that's kind of, even with cable, cable channel here is not always, like, you got to, like, they're so split now. You have direct, Comcast, and all this.
Yeah.
Literally, I can have a channel on direct, but then you might not have direct.
Exactly.
But everybody have a smart TV.
Right.
Literally, everybody has smart TV. Everybody has a phone. You can just download the app.
So the Eyeconic television was primarily on the local antenna, just a local channel. It wasn't a cable channel. It's everybody has it, which is great. So shout out to you for that. But then you're saying, as a visionary, you have to decide, do I want to continue to serve this local body, which you do, but it's like the only thing you can do from there is try to increase more people's attention to it. Or you can go ahead and shift to where they're watching it at, which is a smart TV. Okay, Ron, I'm about to lead into your category. What is the difference in? I know the difference from a vision perspective, which is just like, do I want to serve local or do I want to serve national? But what's the difference in it? Like, is there a different financially, like earnings?
That's what's made me jump to answer. Because you get people like, I'm trying to pitch to Coke. They like, Coke or Sprite or anything like that. And they're like, well, we don't have fans just in Houston. We have, not fans, but we don't have, viewers. What's the word? Consumers. Yeah, we don't have consumers just in Houston. We have consumers everywhere. So why would we spend our ad dollars with you when you're... And I can... Now, if you had your ad out, if everybody can see your show anywhere,
right?
Then yeah. But advertisers start telling me no. I had to go to local advertisements and go in there. That's cool. And I was even bringing them dollars, but then like things are happening. Things like COVID that was happening, where local mom and pop businesses were shutting down.
Right.
But really, the big businesses that was still really going. That's actually what made me get a location.
Right.
Was because all the locations I were using, they were closed down. So I had, like, literally when COVID hit, I literally ran off the bat because everybody was just like, I want to start my podcast. I'm going to start a TV show. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to get here. I started doing like influencers and YouTubers, like YouTubers that do credit. I was doing their courses. I was recording their courses, making their courses for them. They'll literally come and be like, I do credit and this is what I want to do. Like, there's a guy out there right now, like, he's a millionaire, and I started his course, like made him do a course, right? And Sarah's course brought him like $50,000.
Wow.
I didn't even realize he could do something with that, but I was just sit down.
Right.
I had cameras, brought it in, recorded it, put everything, even made the course for him. And it's just like, that's the only reason why I honestly survived COVID. I kind of just shifted. But my advertising dollars are usually what pays for the station. Advertising. But I was thanks for cut. Yeah, I was cut because everybody else was closed. Like, even car dealerships were closed. Like,
So
local.
So you was cut from the local, right? So it's like, okay.
And that's when I had a local channel. So
Right.
I'm like,
local channel. I have local advertisers because the big boys don't want to mess with me. So in order for the big boys to mess with me, I got to now pivot. I got to make the adjustment. So I have to expand. I have to broaden. Unless I want to stay local, but I don't want to stay local because you saw the ceiling there. So it's like, okay, I can broaden this vision, and in broaden that vision, I'm assuming it took a little bit more work.
yes, and it's still taking work because it's only been a year since I cut the cord. So it's still fresh. It just made a year in August. So like even right now, which is why I was telling you earlier before we got on the podcast, I was saying like I was rebuilding my team because I wanted to make sure I knew exactly what I wanted to do. That's the perfectionist image. Working on that too. But I say that to say is because like I'm even shifting what I'm doing on that. Like I'm taking it more so independent films. Creating a lane for independent films, creating a lane for like more independent shows. I just cut my contract. I had a contract with CBS where I had like Cheaters and the Home Improvement Show.
Yes, I saw that.
All that stuff. So like judge shows. It almost was like I had a lot of UPN 20s.
Yeah.
But that contract just spilled over from when I had my antenna. So I just went ahead and put those shows on there. But ultimately, I'm about to like honestly take them all down.
Okay, so first of all, so we asked you about you. So now you're telling us how you got to this point. But I want to make sure that other creative entrepreneurs who are watching this, who are interested in media and communication, and understanding like, okay, how can I take my ability to direct, my ability to produce, my ability to, my desire to want to
see other people. I can produce my own stuff
Right.
around other people on the platform, which is where a network comes into play.
Right.
To where TV comes into play. Somebody who's aspiring to do that, they need to. I want them to understand some things. So you just said you were saying you had a contract with CBS. So if I'm somebody I'm like, man, she said she got a TV show. I want to start one at 20. You know what I mean? Like, how do I go about getting contracts so that I can have shows on my network?
I'm gonna be very honest with you. The only thing about that, of course, that was more so. I think they just came along with me when I did the streaming part, because really they are for like more so of your local channels, your antenna-based channels, your cable networks. They're really more so for those networks. And my contract just still had a couple of years on it, so I think they just rolled over with me when I went to streaming. But to be very honest with you, that part is a little blessed. Because the only thing is those contacts I had came from the other station.
Gotcha.
So I was already in communications, and I told them, because the other channel, once I left, to be very honest with you, 3 weeks later, it shut down.
Okay.
So that channel,
Oh, wow.
so I didn't expect that, but 3 weeks later, it shut down. So
They just shut down because you left, or it was already, I mean, obviously,
I
it
think
sounded like it was a little chaotic.
I couldn't. It was just me, and I had interns, but no one knew it. But I had to leave.
Yes.
It was a bad environment.
Yeah.
I had to leave. So it's not like I could even. And even if they brought somebody in, I couldn't teach nobody.
All the things.
It was no way. That was 3 years of learning. It was no way.
Right.
You know. So when I left, that's what I heard. 3 weeks later, the station went down. So it probably was. I didn't know the financials, so it probably was already headed in that way. But that's what happened. So
It's good that you mentioned that, because you wanted to make clear that the other channel was down, and so some of the relationship I had already built, I wasn't cherry picking from another relationship. They feel like that is dissolved, but we do still want to work with you. Where are you now? Oh, I'm at a network, and it's a network that I own. So then that's kind of happened. So then that blessing kind of walked you into a contract with CBS. So then you were able to get those people on channels.
Hold on. So what I'm hearing, just now based on what you just said, is that your network became your net worth.
because that's exactly that in their relationship, right? Like no, that's literally it.
Right.
My network of people, because I was so, and it's crazy. My network is how I got my station, because I could have been like, to be very honest with you, they cut my pay and they gave me more hours. How they work, I don't know. But that's what happened. They cut my pay, made me come in more than I was. I was coming in like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I was now coming in like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like it was, and then they cut my pay and they couldn't pay me. So I say that to say the board members, the investors, saw how I handled something that wasn't mine. That's what made him say, look, Jaleah, we believe in you so much. Here you go. And I said angel donor, meaning they don't want nothing back from me. They don't want a dime back from me. To this day, I always be like, can I help out with something? They like, girl, go on about your life. Like, because he being great. Do what you ever, like it just, literally my network built into this. And it was because of how, I was with that business. No matter what came in me, I was still myself. Like, I just helped when I could, things happen. So it's just like, I know life happens. And I just did what I could, and I adjusted. Even with that being said, they didn't actually have a CBS contract. They had a contract. It was the same people within the CBS network, but they had a contract where they was doing the little advertisements that come on at 3 o'clock in the morning, like the little vacuums, the lady vacuum was like, you want to use this vacuum, purchase this. So that's another way to get money too. It'd be those commercial advertisements, though. You look for the it's the telethons. The telethons. That's how TVs were really. That's how they get, like, it's still to this day antenna based at 12 a.m. You can go through I think now we got like 120 channels without cable in Houston, but you can go through them. I bet you at 12, 1 o'clock, 3 a.m. unless it's a show, it's going to be like all those telethons about things, trying to get money, trying to sell you something. TikTok on TV. That's exactly what it is. TikTok on TV. Funny because it was backwards, but TikTok on TV. But those people. They're the ones who say, you want to do TV shows, because you can get paid through their advertisement. All I do is give them a block. They give me the shows for free, and then I give them a block. And then what happens is I get paid off of the commercials within their shows. So again, advertising. And so that's how I was able to open that country. So it's like you said, your network is your network. But still, for people who want to do, even on streaming, you still can import. They have like where you can go look for like the telethon commercials. Airtime.
So but you said they have where you can go.
Airtime
Help the
Media.
people.
Yes.
Help the people.
Airtime Media is a good company. All they do is they just have like 30 seconds, 60 seconds. You can apply to Airtime Media. They'll vet the network, and then you can put the commercials. They'll send you just a bunch of commercials. She contact me. My rep is named Sarah. She contact me 30 million times a day. You want this commercial? You want this commercial? And it goes with whatever like I do a lot of like workout stuff. So I used to have a couple of yoga shows on my show, so I would just run them in between them. And then you just get one day my check be like $3,500. I ain't do nothing, but like the advertising sold. I didn't make the commercial. I just put it into the
Put it into the block.
Wow.
Okay, is it the I'm not sure if this is translating to the viewers, but I can just tell that you know so much about it that you just talk about it so like it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because so excellence. So if somebody was doing a network, you would know exactly what to tell them to do, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna challenge you really quick. If you watch this, tell me because I'm normally Ron is always asking about the strategy behind it, and you've kind of talked about some of the things that happen, vision and all that. You've had to revamp your vision, and so. But I always ask about things that have to do with the system or the process or what is the structure. So if someone was in the process of having they wanted to do a TV network, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the other thing.
Right.
We're gonna talk about Iconic. You said we got Iconic Television. We have Iconic Studios. We're gonna move on to studios
to the Eyeconic Academy.
and Iconic Academy. Now, Iconic. Okay, but before we do that, I just want you to tell me and tell our viewers, especially if they're interested, how if you're interested in having a network, what would I need to do? Like, just give me a process. Like,
Well, so the first thing, of course, I would say is know what you want, your content to be about. Or what do you want to tell the people? For example, my thing is the 3 E's. I entertain, enlighten, and educate the community. Those are my 3 E's. That's what I do. So anything that comes my way, it can be entertainment. It can be something that's enlightenment. So that's like your do-it-yourself videos, home improvement videos, stuff like that. Or educational, so your documentaries. I love documentaries. Just giving people the knowledge of whatever it is. So knowing what you want to get out there in the world, knowing what you want like your station to be about. After that, you definitely want to you want to get the content first, because even me right now, I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to get more content in before I push the rebrand. Like, afraid to announce a rebrand, but before you would get a network, you need to make sure you have some content lined up.
now how you gonna get the content?
So it's either way, it's multiple things you can do. Either you team up with people that already have the content. It depends on where you're at in that media realm. Me, I am a creative, but I feel like it's always a difference between a creative and a creator. Like, you could be creative, you can have that creative mind, you can have all the ideas, but the strategy comes when you realize that every idea is a business. All right. So every idea, that's how I treat all my ideas as different businesses. So like I have to have like a plan. I have to have a business plan for this idea. I have all the notches, everything I need to do just for this one idea, but I do that for everything. That's literally my strategy of how I like move through all these projects that's in my head. But I say that to say, you have to be able, either you are the creator or you're the creative. So if you're the creator, then it's easier for you because you can get up there, set up a camera and just start filming and edit it. And there's one piece of content, you could just go. But then I think the best is when you do both, right? Because then the second thing is teaming up with people, which is what I'm doing right now. Looking into that, like I'm like, okay, what's something with me being in film a lot lately? I'm like, okay, there's a lot of film independents here in Houston for sure. So many people that are trying to get their movies on Tubi and all this stuff. And I'm just like, okay, let me give them a lane. Because some people can't.
Right.
Or maybe you don't meet the criteria. You might not can be on Netflix, but you could be on Eyeconic, which is just as good. So that's all. Literally, on my TV, it's Netflix and Eyeconic. Like you could download, it's the same thing. You download it, it's an app. It's just literally the same thing. So for me, I'm just like, okay, let me open that lane for them. So now I'm about to open up the floodgates for all these independent films. It's going to look like I just have all these, but really I just, I networked, and I collaborated. So that's what's very important. When you're starting a network, I would say collaboration for sure. Because back then, my collaboration was CBS. My collaboration was just people that are doing interviews. Like at that time, like my collaboration was just people giving me content, which will make everybody go to your station because it's so many other people.
Right.
It makes everybody tune in. So for me, let's just say like right now, I literally in November, I'm planning on taking like 50 films. Well, that right there is 50 downloads. I know.
Okay.
But what about the 30 people that are all in those films? That's 50 times 30 downloads in the home. It's just
Right.
Yeah.
collaboration can take you so far.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got know your vision. We have
Content.
get the
Get the content.
content, and that content was split off into, you can go and get programming from people who already make content regularly,
Or you can make it.
or you can make it,
Or do both.
right? So, and then which I'm gonna talk about that, and then collaboration, right? So then after that,
So now we get to the technical things, right?
Yes.
And some people might do it backwards. People might just try to build it, but I feel like
they're gonna do it your way. Come on.
yeah, my way, it was really my network, because it was just like, okay, so as soon as I finish building, or what happens is now we're creating content while I'm building it.
Right.
That way I'm not delayed on this vision, because what happens is I could be focusing on, because I know myself, I'll focus on everything, trying to be perfect. And then trying to go get some collaborations when they could have been working simultaneously if I would have just focused on getting everybody together. Okay, now everybody working on their stuff. Now to work on the technical part. So when it comes to the technical part, and if you're looking to get like a station, like an actual network channel, like in Houston right now, unfortunately, there's none available. So it's checking the Nielsen rating, checking, I cannot tell y'all the name, but you can chat GPT, Google, like, how to purchase a network, and it'll give you a website where you're able to check what stations are available. I know in Houston, in Texas, there are no stations out, but there are some stations in Vegas and Atlanta. I was looking at a station in Vegas actually a couple months ago, just curious. But you just go look and see what stations are available. Now they are a little pricey.
Tell us how much they cost. Like an example. Give me an
What's
example.
What's considered pricing?
These days, I'm like, Jesus, these days they had like $500,000 for a station. Like,
Million.
and it just depends on where it's at. It could be like in a small town. Find out the station first. Find out where it's at, all that good stuff. Get your money. You can purchase the station. Simultaneously, you need to be working on your optics and the behind the scenes as far as how's your station running. So looking for what you would use for as far as what am I trying to say? The channel, the programming. So the different part. Now, I had someone build me a program system. I have no name for this system. When I tell you I had somebody build it, I mean literally build the entire drive and build a coder that built my whole programming system.
Okay.
Yeah, you need a programming system. Basically almost like a scheduler. And I feel like nowadays it's probably easier, but almost like a scheduler.
Okay.
I had that for like 6-7 years. So you just need like a schedule that would schedule out like the different shows and things like that. With the streaming, it comes with the scheduler. So I didn't have to figure that out with the streaming part. Okay. But you just have to do a scheduler so that you're able to schedule your times, because that's very important when it comes to local channels. You literally cannot be a minute off. When have you watched TV and the show say it come on at 9 and it came on at 9:05?
Right. No.
It is, and I tell you, that part of the network was because you almost want somebody watching it 24/7. So I bought a mini TV.
Right.
And I had it with me everywhere. Like I used to
Making sure.
make sure never other channel.
Right.
Because you have to, especially with the network, anything can happen. If it's a storm, like that's when, TVs just go out.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a storm, TV can go out, but I got to see it. And then I might have to go up and fix the server. I might have to run up to my server and go fix it. It just, anything can happen.
Okay.
It's definitely different from streaming.
Yeah.
You want to know the one thing that's holding most creative entrepreneurs back? It's not the talent. It's not even the vision. It's the lack of capital. Every day I watch brilliant creatives miss life-changing opportunities simply because they can't access business funding. Traditional banks, they really don't understand creative business like that. And most lenders, well, they don't care. But guess what?
That ends today. With the Minding My Creative Business partnership with Credit Savant, you can access up to $150,000 in business credit. You heard correct. Up to $150,000 in business credit. They have 0% interest options with 30 plus funding programs designed for creatives just like you. So what I need you to do is visit creditsavant.io now. Tell them MMCB sent you.
Okay, so you have all this content. So let's say I have 24 hours worth of content, but I have 24 1-hour shows. I'm just making up a number.
Yeah,
okay. But I have to also have commercials and all this kind of stuff.
So think about what you just said. You have 20. This is how much content you need. This is why I said it's so important to collaborate. You just told me you have 24 hours of content, right? You have 365 days. You really need 24 hours times 365 days of content. Unless you're about to be.
I'm about to do that math. Hold on.
Unless you're about to be showing the same thing every day.
Yeah, see, he said 44 times 365.
Like
That's 8,760.
hours. That's hours. And everybody don't really shoot hour.
Right.
See, shows
People don't be like 20.
and shows don't even be, no, they don't even be 30 minutes. Shows are now like 20, 22 minutes now.
Because you got
It's the advertising.
advertisement.
So like you just got this, it's a lot of content.
Yes.
And that was the stressful part, is just making sure I get content, make sure I'm like refreshing, make sure I'm getting different shows, and there's a lot of content to have.
Yeah.
A lot.
What's that all? Thanks, wait a minute. So now you kind of mentioned how you can start a network, right? But then how do you monetize that network? Like
Advertisement.
advertising.
Yeah, everything will be advertisement. I sold blocks. So yes, I did sold blocks. So that means if somebody came up to me and was like, okay, you have a TV with you, everybody. If they came up to me, they'd be like, oh, I have a TV show. I have an idea. If I'm not co-producing it, or if I don't feel like it's not in my range, but as long as it fits the 3 E's, I might have sold a block for like 400, which CW, Fox, they all do this. DirecTV too, they all do this. I might be like, okay, well, I have a block available for like, it might have been 30 minutes at 1 a.m. for like $400. Or if you want a prime time, because you have your prime times, then I can sell that block for like $1,500.
Okay.
So I was able to sell blocks with it, because again, I can't come up with all this, because I'm having a rerun. So, I can't come up with all this content, but especially with just me, like I had a VP my first year. And then for the first 2 years I had a vice president, and it was just me and interns. And then
now, if I want to collaborate with you, right? Let's say I'm a creator, I'm a creative creator, and I'm like, yo, I want to put my show on your network. How does one go about collaborating with a partner?
So, is this the antenna or the string one? We're talking about the.
We talking about yours, because yours is now on both.
Yeah. Okay, so
we're gonna shoot out.
if you said, hey, I have, or like for y'all show, like if you said, hey, we want to put our content on your network, then like I would be like, okay, well, for example, my November deals, like right now for like podcasts or TV shows, it's $250 for the month. Like it's $250.
And how many slots do you get for that?
No, you get to put your whole season. If it's 8, typically it's like 8 episodes, 8 to 12. But I do 8. If it's 12, then it goes up just a couple more. But typically, like my sale right now is like $250. You come with your own content, $250 for the month, and it's $250 per month. But here's the thing: you have 2 ways to make money, 2 different ways. The first way is any advertisement. That's your show. So any advertisement you bring in, that goes to you 100%. So what I do is give you the opportunity to tell somebody I'm on Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Google TV. That means if y'all go to advertisers, and what I'll do is I'll give y'all our analytics. It's like from how many downloads we have and everything. So if y'all go to like a small or any business really, and you be like, hey, it don't matter what you're advertising, dollars or how much you just let them know your price, and then you be like, oh, we're on these other platforms as well.
Right.
That's you. They ain't got nothing to do with me. If you charge somebody $2,000, it's still $250 a month. I don't care. That's you. Now that's one. Now if you want to do exclusive podcast content, I have pay-per-view capabilities. That's a lot. That's one thing because there are people, a lot of networks. You have Zeus and all that stuff, right? But they don't really do pay-per-view. I have pay-per-view capabilities. So I have some movies that are $5.99, $12.99, or y'all podcast could be $5.
Right.
And you be like, okay, we want to put our podcast up there. The channel's free, so the download is free. But you say we want to put our podcast up there for $5. So I'm like, okay. So now he got to pay $5
to pay to
watch your stuff. Yeah, so I always give people the opportunity to make different money. But for me, it's more about how many. I can't even think of the word right now.
Right.
Volume. I'll make my money with volume and advertisement.
Okay.
I'm not about to charge people an arm and a leg to be on, a platform.
Right.
Like, I'm just not.
Okay.
So
we can make advertisement, and you're gonna make advertisement. Like, how are we gonna do this, right? So
what happens is I have it where like my stuff is really where I put the advertisement in.
Okay.
I don't, unless I do like some type of deal with somebody, like, maybe they have like a bunch of shows. That's something different.
Okay.
It's definitely a case by case. But typically, if I'm making money off of advertisement, it's because it's in my content, which is why I say do both.
Right.
I tell people, make sure you do your own content, you collaborate. But if it's something I co-produce, then I make money off. Me and whoever I co-produced it with, we both make money off the advertisement.
you got a question?
No, I have a lot of questions.
Gonna be out.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to Eyeconic Academy. It's a lot of things.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so we talked. Okay, we first shout out to you because you did the challenge, right? Oh, you talked about how to get your network popping. But we needed to move on because we talked about producing your own, being your own creator. And if you're going to create your own show, of course you can create something in home. Some people are swanky enough to go, maybe a group of fitness people, they go rent out a warehouse, and they all rent that warehouse, and they put out all their content there, and then maybe they make their fitness show that way. But then there are some people like, for what I'm creating, I need my own studio. I need my own space so I can turn into what I can turn it into. And you've done that, right? You've created a studio space so that you can create your own content. And as you were stating earlier, you were able to help people who also were trying to produce their stuff. They needed to get their visuals up. And so you're like, okay, I need a space for that. Because you could have kept shooting it at other people's studios. So let's talk about the Eyeconic studio.
Yes. So, like you said, I used to shoot at, shout out to them, but Houston Media Source. It was ran by the mayor, by the city of Houston.
Yeah.
And so I was shooting there faithfully. Loved them. Absolutely loved them. And then COVID hit. That was one of the first places the cut shut down. I'm like, oh, that's how I make my money. That's where I shoot. That's where other people shoot. And so that's when I was like, okay, I need a space, right? And so a little backstory, just small. I'll be quick. But a little backstory on that. I got a space during COVID. It was about 1,200 square foot. And literally was there for a year. My contract was for 5 years, but I was there for a year. And then unfortunately, it got robbed. My studio got robbed. So I lost over like 60, 70,000 worth of camera equipment, everything. And it had to be an inside job because I always say, you need a key. I had a level A security. So you need a key to get in the building, on the floor, and in my office. Janitorial left my doors open. I don't know how the people got in there, but it was on Crime Stoppers. It was big. The city got involved. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner at the time, rest his soul, he passed away, but he got involved. So many people got involved for me, had my back, and I just left that studio. But I think God has a very funny relationship with me because he be like, I be telling you to move, and you be thinking about contracts and stuff. Move, because I was there a year, and I had a 5-year contract with them. And even when I think about what I was paying, that was ridiculous. But that was, like I said, 1,200 square foot. God, that happened. Not saying that was God, but he definitely was like, move. So I was like, okay, let me go look for something else. Like, this is crazy. I've only been here a year. Find this place that's 53,000 square foot, paying basically almost the same price I was paying.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, that's right.
You said 1,200 square feet?
Yeah.
So 53,000, not 5,300.
What did I say? 5,300. Sorry.
Okay.
5,300 numbers. I'm gonna tell y'all, mathematics was not my thing. Wait a minute, that don't make no sense. Yes. You know what? That means my next building is gonna be 53,000. But yeah, 5,300 square foot. But still, it's crazy. Yeah, because I was paying like almost 3. It's like 3,800, almost 4. And at the end of the 5-year contract, I would have been paying 448. Because it was gonna go up every year.
Right.
What I pay right now is, I've been there 3 years already, and I was paying at the beginning like 5,000, like 1,000, a little 1,000, maybe under 1,000 shy of what I was paying at a 1,200.
Wow.
And now I'm at a standalone, like I have my own building.
Yeah.
No, nobody had a key, so it's just It was nothing but a guy, but I say that to say, you know, I got in that space and it was actually coincidentally a COVID center originally. So everything happened. It was just really, it was a COVID center where people used to come and get tested. And then so it was just a warehouse. Yeah, it was just like a warehouse open space. And so I ended up just creating multiple sets in there, multiple places to do like my shows. And then gave the opportunity for other people to do their shows. Right. And so I was able to make that creative space. And then that creative space ended up one day, 2 years later, somebody came in and was like, can I have my birthday party there? And then it ended up in the event space. Literally after that girl came in, I was like, I never thought about, well, I mean, I do sit here on Saturday nights and Friday nights and weekday it's production. And then it became an event center. So then I started doing my live productions. Like I host an Industry Tuesday for artists where they perform. And so now I'm like, oh, that's content. Like I'm recording and performing and now they can be on the channel. Like, you know, it's just, it all just unfolds. Yeah. But yeah, having a creative space is very important, even if you go to like a WeWork space, you know, but just having a space to create, because you can do it at home, but sometimes at homes make you a little lazy, unless you're going to like Airbnb, you know, but yeah, having that space, it just opens up so much more. And then I have an interchangeable space, so you can literally, it could be 20 shows shot there. You wouldn't even know all those shows are shot in the same place.
Based on what you just said, like with the event space, with the you know, that whole mindset of partnering, collaborating, you talked about you open it up for artists to be able to utilize the space. I'm going back to that through line of net worth, right? I see where it's like, and I don't know, it's because people invested in you that you feel as though you have to give back as well. Like, where does that come from? Because like, even with the Eyeconic Academy, right, which you haven't even talked about, right? But the nonprofit aspect where you're giving back to young people. But you said that your love for this took place in 8th grade. You said you knew you wanted to be at 8th grade.
In 8th grade, I think that's where my blessing comes from too. It's just, that's why I feel like environment is so important, because what if that wasn't available? You know, and honestly, like I always tell people, like they be like, you know how everybody had to go to school, and then what was the second language everybody was learning? Spanish. Mine's a sign language. I'm an 8-year sign language. It's like a fun fact. But I learned that in high school. My high school had that available, and me being different, like I want to learn sign language, and so I did sign language in college too. So I did it for 4 years there, or 4 years in college. Like literally, like it's your environment. What is available for you? You know, you don't know what's out there because it's not available. So even now, you know, I be like, I even go back to like, they don't have health no more. Like that's crazy to me. Like y'all don't have health, y'all don't have home ec. Like y'all don't have none of this stuff. Like I will say I'm 33. I don't have no kid. I have a puppy. But I knew, you know, back then I didn't want no kids having to carry around that baby, and that was middle school.
Based on being immersed in that class. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? And I actually learned how to bake my first cake in that class. Like it's just stuff that's like, what's available for you? And I guess that's what makes me be so, let me make this available. Because even when artists come to this day, they be like, wait, because I have like a photo room, I have a green screen room, I have a white room. They come in there and they be like, oh, I can do, or I'll shoot them a mic drop, and they're like, oh, all you need is, you know, they see these mic drops, and you know, it be famous mic drops that be out there, so artists feel like they can't even, up and coming artists feel like they can't even get to that. That's how you can create that. You know, it's just that just a thing in their head, like what? So like, yeah, you can create whatever you literally want to do, you know, but if it's not in front of them, they don't know. They don't know. Like you can create a TV show. I will create a whole like live experience, like live audience, everything, and I'll bring in my interns and they'll be like, how did we do this?
New live.
Like how? You know, but you don't know because it's not available. So that goes, when I was little, I feel like I was just so blessed to be immersed in all this, but that's because it was available for me.
Right.
So, you know, it's environment.
So I love what you're saying as far your why behind it, like your vision to do it is because you want to make sure you make things available so that people can explore things, right? So I 100% agree with that. Like you have to be able to explore the world before you're able to like
make your market. Like it sounds crazy because you mentioned you have a puppy, but if you think about that, if a puppy or they come in the room, they got to check it out first.
Yeah, they go sniffing everywhere.
Sniffing everyone.
Yeah, it's just.
And then they figure it out. Okay, cool. And so if we're taking away opportunities for people to explore, then pretty soon they won't know where they're going. So I want to say shout out to the Eyeconic Academy for making that possible for people. So that's pretty cool. So now you have a place to do that.
Yes,
right?
That's
you have
the
a
best part.
studio to shoot content for the television network, but the studio is also for other creators to make their content, and the studio has availability on the weekend, so you are able to monetize that as well. With the events, you're able to create events as well, live events, showing your interns things. And so you're one of the first people who have mentioned, like you've mentioned interns a couple of times.
Number one thing.
So before we, because I know we may have to bring you back on.
No, we got to breathe.
We're not surface. Yeah, we're out of time, and it's like I haven't gotten but it's like I want to ask you about that because for me, I think it's very important to when we're thinking about scaling a business, you have to think about how can you automate certain things, how can you batch certain things, which I know you know about batching because when you come from the world of media, you go ahead and batch all these shows, we have all the content ready, boom, that's great for you. But in other worlds, people don't realize batching. So I believe in that. I also believe in automation. Certain things can be, some things we're going to do it the same way over and over everywhere. We might as well just go ahead and streamline it, especially with the world of AI and all that. And then, of course, but the lastly is delegation. And that falls into having systems and having structure. But how do you go about getting interns and how do you keep them organized on what they're going to do? So, because I know that there's a creativepreneur who's watching this and they're like, I want some interns,
Yeah. So interns is an answer prayer. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but it could be an answer prayer and it could be a nightmare, right? So when it comes to, like you said, delegation, it's funny because delegation was my word for 2-3 years because I was struggled with delegation. And it took me being stressed out and took me being sick to realize, okay, I gotta delegate. So she know I'm going out of town. I just told her I'm nervous, but I love her. I love her to do all the things, but it's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. However, when it comes to interns, number one, if you have a business, all you gotta do is go to the schools, meet with the deans. So when it comes to like TSU, Texas Southern University, Prairie View, even HCC or the College of Arts in Houston, U of H, all I do is meet with their deans. I send an email, hey, look, this is what I do. Show them what you've done. It could be small. It don't even have to be big because the thing about it is the kids right now, they're learning all these vocabulary. They need practical. Practical is really what teaches you what you need. So a lot of them, so many people in the class, they can't, they teaching everybody, but still they're getting 45 minutes in a class, it's not really a lot, so when I get interns, I've gotten, for PV, love PV. Love PV. However, they come, they never held a camera. How are you about to graduate and you've never held a camera? It's just, and they are mass communication, radio, television. So the thing about that is, I get it. It's not enough time. Maybe it's not even enough equipment. So if you go to a school, honestly, no matter what field you in, you could be in event planning. They have like the event planning courses and, managed marketing. You can be a lawyer. You could be a law firm. It don't matter what you're doing. Obviously, you graduated in it, right? So you go back to those departments in those different schools. You let them know what you have available, and that you'll give them a credit for class. So now the intern is going to pay attention because it's a credit. It's your grade. You need me to graduate at this point. So that's how you kind of keep them. You give them the credit. But for me, how I make sure they're good is I always hire somebody that's over the interns. Number one. Because my heart, I'd be like, I done became the intern's sister. Do not do that. Because you become their family, you love them, but it's just like, I got to keep it distant.
Yeah, I got to get stuff done.
I got to get stuff done. So, and that's something I actually struggle with is teaching. I know how to teach, but I know I teach fast. And it's really unfortunate because a lot of them, they even come from college, they really don't know. So, doing those classes, I do training. So doing those trainings on your business and what you do and what you need, and then finding out what the most important thing is finding out what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because you mess around and put somebody that hates editing like me, but I'm so good at it, but I hate it. That hates editing. You put them in have them editing the film because they know how to edit. But that's not what they enjoy. So you think that you're about to get a great project. Well, no, they actually enjoy putting a script together. They actually enjoy being a runner and getting things done and putting the chords, but they enjoy that. So, you know, really owning into their niche to see what do they like. Although I teach all my interns, that's why I always tell people, I'm a janitor. Like, I do everything. You are the last person to get fired. If you go to a news station right now, it's robots working the cameras. There's nobody behind the cameras no more. It's a robot and one person in the room. You can't be like, oh, I'm a camera operator. You're not getting no job. So you need to be every single thing. You know, I teach them that. However, I still put you into where you love. You know, but I think with interns, when I used to intern, no one asked me what I wanted to do. They just put me in where I fit. You know, and I feel like this is very important. Then when it comes down to systems, you have your, we used to use Notions for our interns. So that was a good app that we used to use, Notions. And then you as a leader, as a visionary, have to have the vision, which I knew for me that I wanted something different a year ago when I cut the cord. And I said, you know what? I want to figure out where I want to go before I lead people. So this is my first year not having interns. Of course, I didn't need it fully because I collabed a lot, but they're just the answered prayer, you know, because I do a lot of running around, but I had to figure out some things when my business shifted. So now I'm about to do interns in November, and they'll come on basically December, and it'll be a spring internship. So I'll have them from like December to like May. And most of them stay. Right. You know, most of them honestly end up staying like a whole year. You know, because there's also, I always offer paid opportunities. Like if you bring in a show, you want to produce it, like you'll get paid off the show. You know, I offer pay even during the internship. Honestly, be like, some you can't. Like you'll say the school will be like you can't. You know, but I just, you know, if they can, I don't mind, because you don't even have to be in school. That's the thing. So you don't have to be in school. And again, it's so many people, even my age, that just don't even know that this is even possible.
Exactly.
You know?
I want to say something right here, and I hope, because this, like I said, this is the first person who talked about interns so distinctly. I can tell that you mentioned it so many times that you knew about it. I do agree with you, interns. And I think that going about getting them and knowing the proper way, you just actually told that, which is reaching out to the colleges, going to the deans, being able to show proof of what you've been doing so that they can accreditate you to say, yes, if you do this, we'll give you your credit.
Right.
That's the way. It's not like I'm just getting somebody to do something for free. It's not for free. They're getting the credit for it. So technically, there's a mutual exchange. And so, and then also offering incentive past their term to maybe even stay on, or paid opportunities and things like that. So I thank you for that, because I know as other creative entrepreneurs, whether you're watching this and you don't have a desire to be in media, film, event space, studio, any of that, you probably are wondering, how can I have interns and how can I structure them? So the proper structure is to go about them the right way. It's wrap them around college credit, because then you know college hours, because then you know how long you have them. I know I have you from January to May, or I know I have you from this time to this.
And they have so many hours they have to complete. So it's kind of like, it just helps out, because it's like, okay, well, you have to complete a total of 62 hours. Right. You know, I could break up your hours and working on projects. It's just easier when you do go through schools. It is much easier.
Wow. Cheat code. Yeah. Now, that's a cheat code. Last thing is, you said I needed to figure out what I'm going to do next, right? And where I'm going to go next, so that before I bring them back in, here's the vision we're working out, because we've expanded the vision. So I want to ask you this last question. And then, because our whole goal is to go behind the brands of 6, 7, 8-figure businesses. So I know you just cut the course. I'm gonna assume you're not at the 8 yet, right? So
not the 8 yet.
Right, not at the 8 yet. And so we're going from the income bracket you are now. I'm sure you have a new income bracket that you're trying to go to. In order for you, what's the new income bracket? What's the new income goal that you have in mind? Just give me a rating. That's the goal.
I would definitely say like,
it's okay. She's gonna say something like 5. What?
No. I'm looking at like I'm trying to think if I do a number, and I write on my whiteboard. I do quarterly stuff.
Okay, but just gotta be a year in the like
semi year, because honestly this year probably has been, it's crazy because it has been a really good financial year for me, but that's because I've been booming because the thing about it is I haven't did much advertisement on my streaming. So I know what it's capable. It's capable of doing like your 7-8 figures, like for sure. Like if I just, once I get back to getting everything involved, but I've been so focused on the studio this year and live events, and streaming. Man, that's another thing. I just opened up into the streaming world, truly. But just
like if you packed it all together.
if I packed everything together, this should easily be like a 2, 3, 4, $5 million business.
Okay, 5. Okay, so 5.
Like,
Just say 5.
Cause I'm counting each one, like all of them together, because streaming is my new thing too. Like I've been producing a lot of streamers, and I mean they checks weekly at like 5,000-6,000 a week.
Right.
The streamers?
Yeah, and that's them barely doing something. This is my young streamers too. It's not enough. They on streams like 4 hours, 5 hours a day.
Okay, so
Crazy.
that's what I'm saying. Okay, so you got the 5. Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah, I'm like,
The fact that you're just talking about all this, just like so. Okay, so
I be wrapping my head around. I'll be like trying to process this streaming money. Honestly, streaming, and no matter what you do with your business, like even if you're like a lawyer and it's not too much you can show, but streaming, you going to just streaming. This streaming world is just crazy. So now what I'm doing, just sidebar, is because this is something I'm learning. Like I'm teaching myself AI. Half a lot of my movie stuff nobody knows, but a lot of stuff is AI that I did. Like,
side note, hold on. This is why we say we got to have her back for part 2, because right now we just been talking about the network and the studio, a little bit about the academy, but we didn't talk about the fact that you're a director and you actually just direct a 100 cast person movie, a film, and that is actually out and it premiered and it had a
Over 600 people.
Everybody couldn't even come.
everybody couldn't even come.
and you're still in premiering mode because you're gonna have to do another round as well. So that's what I mean. You probably have to come back just to talk from the director world, right? So, but anyway, but you have such capacity to be able to do all of it because you was put in a position to do all of it. But back to this 5 million, because we got to wrap up.
Oh yeah, 5 minutes. So I would say if everything is just booming, I could definitely and of course it takes a team because I can't do that by myself. So I know the capacity of what can happen with all the businesses into one. Because what happens is all I'm doing is shooting one thing, but that one thing is going to go to YouTube, it's going to go to my channel, it's going to go to streaming, it's going to go, there's like so many other, it's going to go to shorts on TikTok, it's going to go, like it could get broken down and go to all these different social platforms on top of my streaming, on top of advertisement for that. Then what comes after that, one content I shot, advertisers can reach out just for that one. It's just, and that's just off of one thing that I could shoot. So when it's booming, honestly, the possibilities is unlimited.
Right. Now, I want to ask you, so that's the goal, right?
That's the goal.
That 5 million, right?
Minimum.
Who do you have to become in order to get to that goal?
That's what we want to know.
Who do you have to become? You talking about me, myself?
This is your business. This is your life.
So
You got to become to do that.
you have to become someone, it's almost what we talked about, the creative and the creator, right? Like you have to become someone that you really have to walk as if you already have 5 million. You truly have to act as if, I feel like that's the only reason why I'm here, is because you have to act as if you already have that's already in place. And that's actually how I kind of move, is that my station is $1 billion station. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. Like I don't care if you look at my views versus Tubi or versus your Netflix or whatnot. Like I have a $5 billion station that is gold. It helps. It does all this for the community, for the world. And what you also have to do is stop being a perfectionist, because that's me. I be trying to do things and be perfect and everything, and that delays me trying to be perfect and everything. Once you realize, and this is why streamers are so important, you have to not care. Because them streamers get on their TV, on them phones and them cameras and just do and make $1 million just doing. So you have to, when you're in honestly a great place like the media tech world, just do, because it's content.
Right.
Rather you mess up, fall on your face, guess what? That mess of it can go viral. Could be what makes you viral. Or could be what makes everybody go tune into the station. So literally you have to just be a doer. You cannot talk much. Because me, I'm a planner, and that's something I'm trying to step back from, planning so much. I'll plan so much. And then the time somebody else done already did it.
Yeah, I already did.
And that's just the truth.
Right.
Like, so I mean, I can come back and I might do it different, but still, you know, I had planned so much. I didn't did all this. I didn't make this. Like I told you, I used to be yearly. Now I'm quarterly. Yeah, I'm quarterly. I look at everything. Like I be like, okay, so for the week, I just try to like really not look so much into the future, because looking into the future can get you lost.
Right.
You know, so I just really try to just do and so go.
So you'd have to be a doer. You have to as more doing, less plan, like less planning. You already have a plan. You have a vision.
It's just
trust the
trust
plan.
it. Trust it. Trust yourself. Trust your vision. Trust it. Faith it. Faith it till you make it. That's my motto. I say faith it, and it's FAITH. Not fake it, but I faith it till I make it. Like, this is a good. I might make it plain and simple. Put it on the paper. Write it down. I am a writer downer, right? So I'll write it down. It's gonna happen. I'll just do it. I need to stop worrying about, well, what outlet can this plug go? Or like, I go that detail, like, you know, but no, you just need to do it. You just need to go, you know, because if God gave you that vision, you also got to know that he gave you the tools to make that vision happen. And that's just what I be working on. Like, okay, he didn't give me this for no reason. You know, it might be a little difficult, but I'm going to figure it out. And that's what I always say. You know, I'm going to figure it out.
Right.
We going to figure it out.
Right.
So who you need to become in a nutshell is what? How would you say it?
Honestly, I mean, in order to be $5 billion Jaleah, you got to become a different version of yourself. Like every time, everything should make you a different version. So the best version of me would be the 5 billion, right? The best version of me is basically honoring everything I say that I struggle with, right? So that version of me is really somebody that is the doer. You know, in order for me to become that version of me, I just have to let go.
That's it.
That's my main thing. It's letting go. Yeah, it's just letting go. Cause let go and let God. Cause that's the version of me that I work towards. Because again, I'm a planner. You know, I have so many ideas. I just told y'all that each idea is a business plan to me. Like seriously, I'd be like, I gotta do this, you know, but I'm telling y'all this, but I'm still working on just doing, you know, and just stop. Like I said, I have all these plans, all these ideas, and I just need to go. My best things are done when I don't want to say rushed, but just when it's just done.
You know, I love that. And the reason I wanted to ask you is just to like put you in a position of like self-reflection, as well, thinking, right? And so, I thank you, because you were like,
I saw you really processing.
Yeah, I really process it. Like,
I have to be.
I gotta let go.
Angry of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to let go.
Yeah.
I have to do mean I have to let go. And also, I just want to say this is like pretty much we off the script at this point. There is no script. We're just having a conversation. But I'm saying we're probably leaning over time. But I just want to say this to you. For me, you were put in a position early on, like in your 20s, to have to do all the things, and you couldn't mess up and you couldn't get it wrong. And so, you know what I mean? Like, so now it's like, I don't have to do all the things. I can let other people do some of the things. So define whatever it is that you're going to say, I need 3 more me's. Yeah, some people don't even have the capacity to even do one of the things that you say that you know how to do. So I think that is amazing. But we want to ask also about, you know, where you're going to go in 5 years or in 5 million, because we know that as a creatives always have something next in mind. Like, so we wanted to see what that was. But more so what we heard you say is you need to pretty much mind your creative business by, okay, I got it going, but let me step back. And it leads me, I'm thinking into this challenge that Ryan and I put together. And we want to challenge the creativepreneurs who are watching to join the Creative to CEO Challenge, right? Somewhere linked to this video, you should be able to click the link and join the Creative to CEO Challenge. You have to move out of the mode of being the creative with all the different things, with all the different, you know, to the point where you're in the CEO seat.
Right.
And if you're going to be in a CEO seat, you're going to have to move like a CEO. And so we put together some join the challenge.
Yeah.
Creative CEO Challenge. Pressing it. You're gonna get live coaching, mentorship.
Right.
We're running out for 5 days. There's a VIP opportunity as well if you want to have some extra Q&A time. But more so, yeah, we're gonna, some planning, some workflow auditing, some rhythms like that. Trust me, if you want to go to the next level, whatever your next level is, they need to do what, Ron?
Join the Creative to CEO Challenge. So, yeah, on that note, like I said, we thank you for your time. Like, this has been a phenomenal interview. You dropped a wealth of information. I'm excited to see that transition, right? I'm like, we're going to be tuning in and seeing, okay, I kind of then went from this to this. So we're excited for that.
Thank you so much. Welcome to Houston, because ain't good.
In the stage. Yeah. All right. And so thank you for real. Thank you for coming. If we can have you back, we would love to. I know you just premiered this film and we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but if we want a part 2, if y'all want a part 2, drop it in the comments. Part 2. You fly me in. Yeah, so she can fly. She can't flew out to Dallas.
Tell me I'm the best episode.
So yes, we want to talk about all those things, but thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in. If you're still looking at this point, you're serious about your creativepreneur journey. And so we shout out to you for that. And we always end on a note, right? We do all the talking. Well, we've been talking. We let the guests talk. You've been hearing from us, but we want you to hear from yourself because it takes self development, which takes affirmations to actually like drive on, right? So I want you to repeat after me. Right?
All right, we're repeating after you.
Okay, everybody repeating after me. All it takes is consistency, intention, and laser focus to mind my creative business.
To mind my creative business.
Yeah.
On that note, we out.
Peace.